Welcome to the June Jamboree 2024 drivers meeting. I'm Keto.
And I'm Katie. This video contains two parts. The part you're watching right now, where we're going to talk about everything you should need to know for the race, almost everything. And then a second part, which is the how to read rallycross cones video, which is linked in the description of this video. If you're new to rallycross, if it's your first, second, third event, please go watch that. Just get a refresher on how cones work so you know how to navigate the course. You also maybe got this video from a link in your email, but if you didn't, please be sure that you read no matter what, no matter how you got the link to this video, please be sure you read the competitor email all the way through. It should be in your inbox. That has all the other information you need for the event, like schedule, run groups, all the things.
All the things.
All the things. So with that, let's talk about what to expect on race day, or if you show up the night before. So when you show up on race day, you're going to sign a waiver. You're going to pay $10 to the venue. It is cash only. So please come prepared with cash. I know not a lot of us run around with that these days. Please be prepared. And it is per person, not per car. So if you bring 3 friends, they also need to pay $10. You'll be directed to parking. When you come into the venue, if you show up the night before, when you come in, just turn right. Parking and camping is all to the right side. Just a quick note on camping. You are permitted and encouraged to camp the night before the race. You can camp on Friday night. You cannot, this is unusual, you cannot camp on Saturday night. The venue has an event the next day, so we actually need to clear out Saturday night so they can get set up as well. So adjust your plans accordingly. I lost my train of thought, but if you camp the night before, just know that you are responsible for coming to the gate in the morning, signing the waiver, and paying your $10. We will be checking for the wristband they give you at the gate when you come through tech inspection and do check-in.
And when you camp, there'll be a line of cones down towards the end of the track. There's plenty of space. You don't need to camp anywhere down that area.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so you show up and it's race day. It is time to get your car ready for tech inspection. Just so you know, you have, I think, 90 minutes to go through tech inspection, get checked in, and walk the course. So be sure to show up with enough time to do all those things. Give yourselves plenty of time so you can have a great race day. So with that, do you want to talk about what happens at tech inspection?
Yeah, so when you come to tech, please have your car race ready. That means empty with, your stickers, your numbers, all the stuff on the vehicle. Don't show up and be like, oh, I'm going to put the wheels on later. I'm going to do, nope, get it all done ahead of time. They're going to check, make sure that, your wheels and suspension are good by shaking them. They're going to check for a brake pedal, throttle return, batteries covered, that you have seat belts and all that sort of safety stuff. They'll also check your helmet. And then you'll go to check-in.
Yep. We'll go to check-in where we check your driver's license, make sure it is valid. We confirm your number and your class. Just know those need to be set now. We don't want to be changing them on race day, especially class, because that'll change your run group and we don't want that. So just be sure you have all that in order. Once you're done with check-in, park your car and go walk the course. Then I had to think about what happens next, as if I haven't done this before. Once course walking is done, you need to be in grid with your car if you race first, or at the timing tent to check in for your work assignment if you work first. So yeah, that's everything. Just be on time. Let's keep things moving.
Yep.
We will have the morning session, and then we will have a 1-hour lunch break, and then the afternoon session. So keep in mind that we put out a schedule. We do our best to stick to it. But once we get going, which we'll start on time, once we get going, the schedule becomes dynamic. If we end the morning session 15 minutes early, we will start the afternoon session 15 minutes early. If we end the morning session 30 minutes late, we will start the afternoon session 30 minutes late. So just keep that in mind. When the morning session ends, be sure you confirm when you need to be back from lunch so that you are not late. So that's everything. All right. So the course is marked out with cones.
It is.
You're indeed. And you're going to watch that course cone basics video. So you will You will take as many laps. We'll do anywhere between 3 and 6 laps, depending on how the day goes. Your time is a total time of all of your laps added up, plus any penalties. We will have local Wi-Fi. So we've been flip-flopping a little bit. We're playing around with some things, but for this event, you will be able to access your times on local Wi-Fi. We'll have a little sign there. You can connect to the internet and go to the website to access your times. All right. You want to talk about what happens when they're at the start line, ready to race?
Yeah, when you're at the start line ready to race, you need to have your helmet on, you need to have your seatbelt on. If you have a passenger, their window needs to be rolled up. Your window also needs to be rolled up. If you don't have a passenger, that window can be down. If you do have a passenger, also, no holding on to phones or cameras. They need to be hard mounted. If they are not, you will get red flagged and get a DNF. It is your responsibility to make sure your passenger is not holding a phone or a camera or anything else in the car as well.
You said that everybody needs to have their window up. You can have it down 1 inch
1
for a
inch.
little ventilation. If
That
you
is
like.
correct.
Yeah.
That is,
So
yeah, the maximum allowed is 1 inch of window gap. Yeah,
do you say they need to have their helmet on, strapped, buckled?
it needs to be strapped and buckled.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great. So then you're
And
gonna
cigarettes out.
yes. That's very important. All right. So then you are driving along on course and you come across a cone down. What do you do?
Well, you have two choices. So if you come across a cone that's out of place, that's down on course, you can come to a stop, point to it. Once you get a course worker's attention, then you need to get back on your pony because somebody's coming behind you very quickly. It also benefits you to see the rest of the course's speed. You will get a rerun. You can also just choose to ignore that cone, won't be counted against you. Often it makes for a straighter line, you know, hence a faster time. And but once you pass that cone and get to the next element, you can't then, you know, claim that cone was down for rerun. You have made the decision to move on, and so will we.
Great. So you have two options.
Yep.
Keep going or stop and point to it.
That's right.
Once you get the course worker's attention, get back at speed.
Yep.
Course workers, a quick note. We've had a couple issues with this at the last few events. If someone stops and points to a cone in your area, make eye contact with them, send them on their way.
Yep.
But then you have to radio in and tell us that timing. Otherwise they come back and they say, I want to rerun. So all you need to say is car 1, 2, 3 stopped for a down cone. They're going to need a rerun. Often we will then check in with you to make sure that do you have enough time to get to that cone, or was it just you know, we'll kind of check in, make sure everything's okay. But we have to know that they did it, or else we have a problem.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Once they stop and make eye contact, you can point to the cone, give them thumbs up, let them know that, you know, you saw that, and, you know, send them on their way.
Yep. What if you are driving along course and somebody's waving a red flag in your face?
Well, then you should come to a stop. You should come to a stop as quickly as you can, you know, in a safe manner. They will then give you some directions. They'll tell you to drive the course, you know, at parade speed, or they'll tell you to turn around, or, you know, drive up to somebody who's going to show you where to go. But just follow their direction, sit and wait for their direction. They'll come to you and they'll tell you what to do.
Yep. So that can happen if you are catching the car in front of you, or if there's some kind of incident ahead of you, or for if any reason we just need to stop everybody.
Right.
Like a deer runs out on course, then we have to
Yes.
stop everyone to keep you safe.
Certainly. And it also could be because you have a D bead. And so if that is the case, we'll let you know. You'll get a D bead is when the tire loses its air and loses its seal against the wheel, right? And so the tire's flopping around on the rim. So it's a dangerous situation to be racing, and you know the car's listing to one side, the wheel can dig in and promotes rollover. So what we do is we shut you down and let you get back, and then you have 10 minutes to change it out. You get to do this one time, so you might want to up your tire pressure. Yeah.
Once you get your tire changed out,
Yep.
Come to the front of the line. We'll come to grid. They'll send you to the front of the line, and we'll give you a rerun.
Yep. That's
If it happens again, you've already used your 10-minute timeout. So for the next run, if you were to get a DNF for any reason, it's a DNF. You don't get another chance.
Yeah, if you get red flagged, it'll be a DNF for you on the next occasion that happens. So that is why I suggest that you up your tire pressure a little more. You know, it helps from knocking the tire off of the wheel.
Yep.
Mhm.
So let's say you don't get a D bead. Everyone gets one 10-minute timeout. Some people
That's
call
right.
them a mechanical. So we just gave you the example of it getting used for D bead. But
Mhm.
if for any other reason
Yeah.
you need to step out of line with your car
Mhm.
and you believe you will not make it back before your turn, you need to notify grid that you are leaving to take your 10 minutes.
Mhm.
We will track when you are supposed to be at the line and we will start a timer then. If you get back before you're supposed to be at the line, your 10 minutes was not used. You don't lose it just because you told grid. It's when you're supposed to be at the line that
That's
you
right.
lose it.
That's right. And if you use any part of it, it's a one and done. You
Mhm.
can't parcel it out, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. You one time use 5 minutes, not the whole 10. Well, you've used it up.
Yep.
There's no more 10 minutes.
There is time between runs, somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes, depending on the course.
Yeah.
And so when you get back into grid, and with how Albany is laid out, everything's really close together. So usually if you need to pop over to your paddock area and air up or something like that, you have plenty of time to do it and then you get back in line. It's only if you're cutting it close to getting back.
Right. All right. And speaking of Albany,
Mhm.
let's talk about the watering there. So the watering is with the hoses. So we will water one or two courses at a time.
Corners.
Comm stations
Mhm.
at a time. And we'll radio. You do not need to soak it. If you soak it, it is clay. It's very slippery. So we're just trying to get it wet to keep dust down.
Mhm.
So we'll go a couple comms at a time, and we'll let you know on the radios when we're going to switch comms.
Yeah, and knock on wood, it's looking like we may actually need to water at this event. So it's going to be sunny, maybe 77 according to the forecast. Last year we got rain, so we're all a little
Yep.
sad about that. So,
Yes.
all right. So half of your day is racing and the other half is a work assignment. You will, aside from a few people, everyone goes out on course and works a corner. Each corner has a captain. So if you are new, don't panic. There will be someone there to show you how to do everything you need to do. But you need to check in before you go out there. We keep track of everyone and you need to stay for the whole work assignment. If you don't check in, or you don't stay for the whole work assignment, you will be disqualified and you'll be asked not to come back. The work assignment is a required part of the event. That's how these events happen. If people ditch out on their work assignments, we can't hold a safe event. When you're out there, you need to wear an orange vest. You need to always have your phone like in your pocket, not in your hands. No videoing, no looking at your phone. Your eyes need to be on the course at all time. You need to be paying attention 100%. We really try hard to not get people run over. So that's part of the deal.
Yep. And you need to look out for more than just cars.
Mhm.
Last event we had deer that, made their way out on the
Mhm.
course. We've had people who wander out on course. It's your responsibility to make sure that, it's safe out there. If you see a media person who's in a yellow vest in an unsafe position, please let them know to get out of there. And then you can also radio us and let us know about anything that's worrisome out on the track.
Yeah, we don't have too many challenges at Albany. There is one section of the course where there's an opening just next to the grandstands. We tape it off, but often people still invite themselves to come watch the racing from a closer spot. And
Mhm.
so if you're working that corner and you see someone come over, a spectator, you just ask them to step back behind the tape. We just want to keep everyone safe.
Yes.
So I think I said all this, but on your feet, eyes on the cars, no phones, no cameras, no taking video. Lately, I've been getting the question a lot. Can I put a camera on a tripod off course while I'm course working? And the answer to that is yes.
As long as it's in a safe
As long as
place.
it's in a safe position, you can like turn on a GoPro on a tripod and just capture all the cars going by. That's totally fine. It's just, you can't be controlling it and you can't be going off and futzing with it throughout the day. Set it and forget it.
Right.
When you get out there, work with your captain, work with the people at your corner, and make sure you know where the cones that you're responsible for start and end, so that you know which ones are yours to put back up or let the captain know to call in. So just be very clear on where your responsibilities are, and then be really clear on where those cones start. It is really important that throughout the day you put them back exactly where they were. We don't have the advantage of like autocross where we can, put chalk lines around the cones. And if cones start to move, the shape of the course moves, and that can be unsafe. So just if you need to put a stick or a rock off course, so you know what to line something up with, you can count out paces between it and another cone. Just be really clear with where everything needs to go back. And then lastly, when a car is coming by your section, you need to watch them go all the way through. That way, two things, if that you can see who hit which cone, and you can appropriately report it, and you can make sure it gets back up quickly. If you're talking to your bud next to you and you're kind of like, oh crap, a cone's down. You didn't see the person hit it. You can't call it in, and you put yourself in danger by not getting to it as quickly as possible.
That's right.
Did I miss anything?
Nope.
All right. Captains. You'll have a radio and a red flag. We'll also have a fire extinguisher. All of it comes in a nice handy bucket. So know where your bucket is and be fairly close to your bucket. Leave your fire extinguisher in the bucket, but everything else needs to be on your person, the radio and the red flag. We don't want in a red flag situation for you to have to run to the bucket, get the red flag, and then come back. Too late at that point. So be sure it's on you and be sure your radio is turned up and you can hear it so that if we have to call a red flag or anything else, you can hear. When you make a radio call, we want you to quickly and clearly say, COM 1, car 123, 1 cone, and then get off the airwaves. It's important to hold the button for a hot second before you start talking because it takes a second to connect. That way we can record penalties. We'll confirm it back to you. We'll say copy, COM 1. If you don't hear a confirmation, give it a second and then radio back and make sure we heard you.
If you have a red flag, call the red flag in which COM station it is at, and then get off the airways. We will call the red flags once the cars are all stopped. Then we will ask what happened. And we'll be looking, you know, do we need to get a truck out there to tow the car? Did you guys get it going? You know, all those sort of things.
Yeah, it is helpful to give us a tiny bit of context in that first radio call.
Yes.
For example, COM 5, red flag, car off course, right? Like give us a tiny bit of info, versus
or DB or something.
Or DB versus like COM 5, red flag, I have a car catching another car. Well, they just warrant different responses from us. So it's just really helpful to know what's going on. And then yes, we'll radio you back and give you instructions.
Yep.
Prepare for the elements. We just said this, but it sounds like it's going to be sunny and warm. We have not had this year a sunny and warm race, nor has the weather really been sunny and warm around here. So just a loving message from me to you. Please bring extra water, more water than you think you need. Bring sunscreen. Do not be a hero. Wear a hat. Wear long sleeves to protect yourself. When you get sunburned, you start to get dehydrated really fast. You just feel like garbage. Like take care of yourselves. We want to be sure everybody has a fun, healthy race day. We don't need any heat stroke, but also keep in mind it's still the Pacific Northwest. Bring a rain shell. Just be prepared just in case. Okay. That's everything about racing and working. Do a little housekeeping. Got anything else?
No.
Okay. Spectating is allowed. Remember, if your friends and family are coming, $10 at the gate, cash only. It's a good venue for spectating. There's a lot of good spots you can watch from high up. It's fun, and they're allowed to camp with you, so it's a good time. Dogs are allowed and encouraged. Please pick up after your dogs. Sometimes at races, people think like, oh, we're outside, we don't need to do it. Like, you still need to pick up after your dogs. And they must be leashed at all times. So there's no part during the event where they can be off, even if it's in the evening after the event is over, just for everyone's safety, including the dog safety that's right by the highways, right by a road. And you have to have a plan for your dog while you're working. So, and racing, sorry, they can't come with you during the races either. So be sure you have a dog-friendly accommodation for them so that they can comfortably stay. If it's hot, you can't just leave them in your truck or something like that. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of good lodging nearby, 5 minutes away in Albany. We have 4 rooms left at a discounted rate at the Comfort Inn Lynn County Fairgrounds. This is sort of a last minute deal. They made contact with Ed at the last rally and gave us a discount. So if you want to book a discounted rate, that hotel's a little bit more expensive, you can call them. You have to call, can't book it online, and ask to book one of the rooms in the Northwest Rally block of rooms. It's $155 a night. Comfort Inn Lynn County Fairgrounds. It's in your email, but there's 4 rooms left there. And then let's just be sure to pick up our trash, leave the venue better than we found it. And remember, they have an event the next day. So nicer and better we leave it, the easier it is for them
Yeah.
to get set up.
Yeah, it's a motocross course. There's often a lot of tear-offs and stuff
Yeah.
that are floating around. And instead of just stepping over them, let's just grab them and throw them in the garbage and, continue with the reputation of us leaving the places cleaner.
There also always are a lot of Monster Energy cans after motocross. Don't know what that's about, but we could pick those up too. All right. Remember, we hit the road on Friday. So please don't wait till Thursday night or Friday to email us. We're going to be really slow to respond. If you have a question, if you need something, email us well in advance. And because you're diligent, you're watching this video and you've read your email early and you're ready to go. So send us any questions. Drive safe getting down there. Good luck with Friday traffic if you're coming on Friday.
Mm.
And we'll see you all in Albany.